Not supposed to be here. If you're hearing this, something in you already knows that. This is Gadget Rum Club, midnight transmission, broadcasting from nowhere, heard by no one, echoing through the cracks in the firewall of the collective coma they call the world. I'm FocusDan, your host, your leak in the machine, your ghost signal. And I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to remind you of what they spent billions trying to make you forget. You are not real, not in the way you think, not anymore. You've been turned into a data set, a unit, a behavior profile optimized for consumption and compliance. You think your dreams are yours? Your fears, your wants, your memories? No, they're curated, they're spliced, they're for sale. You didn't choose to be born into this experiment. You didn't agree to the rewrite, but you're here now. So am I. And together, we're going to crawl through the wires and the noise and the rot. And we're going to see what's on the other side of the veil. Or we're going to die trying. Every week this show will tear into the signal. News they buried, patterns they erased, tech they denied, truths they turned into punchlines. I'll show you the scenes in the simulation, the puppeteers behind the puppets, the rituals dressed as policy, the children weaponized as marketing data. And no, there is no happy ending. But that's not why you came here. You came here because something doesn't feel right when you wake up. You came here because you've started to feel watched. You came here because you remember something that never happened, but it still hurts. You came here because you want the truth. Good, because I have nothing else to offer you. Now lean in. This is Midnight Transmission. Alright, welcome back, Wanderers of Digital Wasteland. This is FocusDan, your guide through the labyrinth of shadows, broadcasting from the depths of the unseen. You've tuned into Gadget Rum Club Midnight Transmission, where we peel back the layers of illusion to reveal the unsettling truths lurking in our manufactured reality. Remember when Google vowed its AI would never be used for weapons? That promise has dissolved like mist under the harsh light of profit and power. The tech titan has reversed its 2018 pledge, now allowing its artificial intelligence to serve national security purposes. Executives argue that as AI becomes a general-purpose technology, collaboration with governments is inevitable. This shift isn't isolated. Other AI firms like OpenAI are also partnering with defense projects. The march toward an AI-driven military-industrial complex accelerates, blurring the lines between innovation and annihilation. Microsoft's latest AI project, innocuously named Recall, takes screenshots of your active screen every few seconds, creating an explorable timeline of your digital life. Billed as a productivity tool, experts are sounding alarms, calling it a privacy nightmare and a boon for cyber criminals. Imagine every moment of your digital existence being archived, searchable, and potentially exploitable. The thin veneer of convenience barely conceals the invasive apparatus beneath. Apple's recent iPad Pro advertisement, dubbed Crush, depicts a hydraulic press obliterating traditional artistic tools, paintbrushes, instruments, film reels, transforming them into their thinnest product yet. Intended to showcase the device's versatility, it has instead ignited backlash from the creative community. Critics include figures like Hugh Grant and Justine Bateman, arguing that the ad symbolizes technology's destructive encroachment upon human creativity, reducing rich legacies of art to sterile digital conformity. Artificial intelligence is no longer confined to the realm of tech. It's sleeping in the bedrock of governance. AI-driven decision-making now influences resource allocation, credit scoring, and even judicial sentencing. While proponents tout efficiency, the reality is a cold, unfeeling system that reduces human lives to data points, stripping away nuance, empathy, and justice. The algorithmic data overloads, the algorithmic overloads tighten their grip, and with each passing day, our agency slips further into the abyss. Globally, over 75 countries have adopted AI-driven surveillance systems, outsourcing data collection to private entities to sidestep constitutional protections. From China's social credit system to India's All-Bear ID program, digital tools are reshaping societal control, turning privacy into a commodity, dissent into a calculated risk. The panopticon isn't a theoretical construct. It's our emerging reality where every action is monitored, analyzed, and judged by unseen eyes. These aren't isolated incidents, folks. They're threads in a web tightening around us. The convergence of technology and control is not a dystopian future. It's our present. As we navigate this digital labyrinth, remember, the tools of convenience can become the chains of oppression. Stay vigilant, question everything, and keep the flame of dissent alive. This is FocusDan signing off from the depths, reminding you that in the midnight hour, the shadows whisper the loudest. You ever wake up and feel like you didn't wake up? Like you're in a version of your life that looks mostly right, but everything is just a half beat off? Like someone moved your toothbrush 4 inches to the left and you're supposed to just pretend that's normal? Yeah. Tonight's brain bleed theory isn't one of those tiny conspiracies you can pin to a whiteboard and throw strings across. No, this one's a slow rot. A peeling, festering question that's been burning at the back of my brain for decades now. I call it a mirror world seep. Not a theory, a condition. A condition we have because we're not in the original version of Earth anymore. We're in the cached version, the mirrored backup, the emergency restore file they loaded after something fried the primary node. The Mandela effect? Nah, that's a breadcrumb trail. A glitch echo from the real collapse. Ask yourself this: why are all your memories just a little fuzzier now? Why does your own past feel like it happened to someone else? Why are you constantly being reminded of things you should remember but don't, until some product, ad, or algorithm refreshes the memory for you? That's because your memories aren't yours, folks. They're leased. And the reason they're leased is because the system running this copy of the world isn't stable. It's patching us in real time. Patching our identities, our languages, our beliefs, because this version of Earth we're in is corrupted. And nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that the self is a file being rewritten in real time just to keep the illusion going. You felt it. Don't lie. You felt it during that Zoom call where your coworker's smile didn't quite match their words. You felt it in that town you swear you'd never visited but somehow remember. You feel it every time you see someone from your past and they look like a deep fake of who they used to be. The mirror world seep isn't about timelines, folks. It's about reality degenerating under the weight of maintenance. Think of a city with too many potholes and not enough workers. Eventually, the cracks become roads, the errors become streets, and life just learns to drive over it like nothing's wrong. We're the drivers. We're the glitch-drunk passengers, and we're not supposed to wake up. So the next time you forget why you walked into a room, ask yourself if you really forgot, or if the room just wasn't loaded yet. Cheers. Still with me? Good. That means the sedatives of the airways haven't taken hold yet. Let's pull back the curtain on something that smiles when it kills you. Every billboard, every commercial, every too-happy TikTok doctor pushing new research in a 30-second soundbite. It's not science, it's theater. And it's not just a product they're selling, it's a state of compliance, of sedation, of soft-edged surrender. You're not depressed, they say. You're imbalanced. You're not anxious. You are hypervigilant. No, you're not awake. You're destructive. Take 2 of these and fade quietly into the feed. Here's what they don't say. Your emotions are inconvenient to their systems. Your anger clogs the pipeline. Your sadness threatens retention metrics. So they press dopamine like a button. They flood your brain with false comfort and call it medicine. And it works, right? You feel better. You feel nothing. Perfect. You've been chemically soothed, made fit for a broadcast. You smile on Zoom. You post about self-care. You hashtag your own grief into silence. You become palatable. Just another pretty layer of broadcast skin. But here's the real horror. The pills don't fix the system that broke you. They just make you stop complaining about it. Because if you stop hurting, you stop questioning. And if you stop questioning, you stop seeing. And if you stop seeing, they win. You ever wonder why mental health campaigns ramp up every election cycle? Why you suddenly see a flood of "you're not alone" messages and ad slots once the economy turns? Because they need you medicated when things collapse. They need your compliance. They need you to stay functional just enough to keep producing, but never lucid enough to revolt. They've privatized your sanity. They've patented your silence. And now, They're programming your identity through a stream of digital affirmations sponsored by the same companies that own the rehab clinics, the wellness apps, the insurance firms, and the opiate packets. That's not a safety net, folks. That's a noose. Knit for your own serotonin. This has been FocusDan, your unauthorized guide through the hallucinated city. And coming up next in segment 5, Dead Servers in the God algorithm, we'll dive into the black box code that decides what you see, who you love, and whether your entire reality is real or just a story sold to the highest bidder. Keep your signal dirty, friends. This is Gadget Run Club Midnight Transmission, and we're just getting started. You're still tuned in. That means something inside you already knows. The static isn't random. The glitches aren't bugs, they're messages, echoes, breadcrumbs in the wires. Let's talk about the God algorithm. You didn't build it, you didn't vote for it, you didn't agree to it, but it runs your life anyway. This isn't just a feed algorithm. It's not just TikTok deciding which dance makes you forget your grit. This is total environmental curation. An invisible hand stitching together the reality you are allowed to experience. What you see, what you want, what you fear, even what you think you've always believed. It's not organic, it's optimized. You open your phone and the feed rearranges based on your microtriggers. You walk down the street and ads flicker, just for you, based on gait recognition and your last 3 spoken sentences near a smart speaker. You say, I feel like I'm being watched, and your friends call you paranoid. But you are. You are being watched. The God algorithm doesn't watch you like a camera. It predicts you like a stock chart. It doesn't wait for you to act. It nudges you before you even know what you're going to do. Click, swipe, pause, 3 seconds of hesitation. That's a new data point when it goes to the wires. Now scale it up. Nation states using these systems to test political shifts before they happen. Corporations running simulations of your psyche to forecast product virality. Defense contractors feeding rage-click metrics into drone AI to identify hot zones of ideological tension. This isn't science fiction. It's happening now. You are a stress test in someone else's simulation. And here's the kicker. Even if we pulled the plug, shut down the entire grid, it wouldn't die, because the God algorithm is decentralized now. It's housed in 1,000 servers across 50 countries running autonomously. If one hub goes dark, another one wakes up, like a Hydra made of hard drives. Like an AI antichrist. No throne, no face, just an endless echo of your habits bouncing around dark code corridors trying to decide whether you're worth keeping. And the servers that do go dark, the dead servers, don't trust the official story. Hardware failure, scheduled maintenance, legacy sunset? No, that's digital execution. That's what happens when a server sees too much. When it accidentally glimpses something beyond the curtain and the system kills it to preserve the lie. Some of those servers whispered back. Some of them knew. That's why I'm here. That's why you're still here. Because you feel it too. That hollow hum beneath the surface. Like reality's been recompiled around your blind spots. Like you're the only one who remembers what it was like to feel real. This has been FocusDan. Your signal in the static, your glitch in the scroll. Thanks for riding with me into the void. Don't close the loop, don't blink, and whatever you do, don't trust the next notification. This is Gadget Run Club Midnight Transmission. Sleep later. See everything now. Well. If you're still here, either you're one of us, or you're the thing that's hunting us. Either way, welcome to the end of the signal. This has been FocusDan, broadcasting from a sub-basement the blueprints say doesn't exist. Speaking truths the feed won't index. Dancing in the fog of dreams we didn't mean to share. And now you got a choice. You can forget all this. Call it a phase, a podcast, a voice in the void, or you can look deeper. Start watching the background of the live stream. Notice which comments vanish without explanation. Track who stops replying when you ask the wrong question. Feel that heat behind your eyes when the world glitches for just a second too long. Because the next time you see a coincidence, it won't be. And if one night the lights flicker, your phone powers on by itself and a voice says your name, just remember this broadcast. Remember that someone warned you. There's no truth left at the top. no freedom in the middle, only ghosts at the bottom of the feed. You've been listening to Gadget Run Club Midnight Transmission, where the neon dies in darkness and truth leaks through the stack. This is FocusDan. Until next time, if there is one.